We start with the recent happenings in Tanzania. There are sentiments made by Tanzania's president that Kenyans are exporting bad manners to Tanzania, and we saw such a high level of interest from this side of the country. Maybe Senior Counsel, talk to us, what does this case, Tundu Lissu's case in Tanzania, mean for Kenya as a country?
Let me say this, Africa is built on solidarity. Our fight for independence as African countries was won through internal and external solidarity. Tanzania has played a leading role in African solidarity. And we remember Tundu Lissu was shot during the Magufuli era 16 times, recuperated partly in Kenya and then in other Germany and Brussels, Belgium, when he was arrested for treason, for merely calling for reforms before elections. His call was no reforms, no election. That is the foundation of the treason case. It is obviously politically motivated. We went to stand in solidarity with him.
All right, and what do you make of the sentiments by the Tanzanian president that Kenyans are exporting bad manners to Tanzania? She called us watovu wa nidhamu. What do you make of her sentiments?
Her sentiments were in bad taste and against the spirit of the Jumuiya and African solidarity. As citizens of the Jumuiya, we have a right to move freely within the Jumuiya countries. She does not accuse us of any specific criminal offense. Going to observe a trial haiwezi kuwa ni utovu wa nidhamu. Iyo matamshi ndio utovu wa nidhamu.
We had Boniface Mwangi narrate of the experience in Tanzania.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it?
That Tanzania has exposed itself as a nation that does not respect human rights. A nation that is ready to violate its own constitution. The constitution has a Bill of Rights. A nation that is ready to willingly violate the East Africa Treaty, which also upholds the rule of law, democracy, and human rights. To violate the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and to violate international law. There was no reason whatsoever to subject Boniface Mwangi of Kenya and Agatha Atuhaire of Uganda to cruel, degrading, and inhuman treatment. For Musalia Mudavadi, a representative of the government of Kenya, to go on air on Citizen, suggesting there is something wrong we did to get deported. In other words, joining Tanzania in oppressing Kenyans is the highest form ya utovu wa nidhamu.
Talk to us about the future of Kenyan democracy under the newly reconstituted IEBC.
Let me say that the IEBC was never meant, this IEBC currently being constituted. I do not think that the William Ruto regime expected it to be or wanted it to be independent. But that doesn't worry me. Kenyans have a way of overcoming. Even when the opposition won in 2002 against KANU, which had entrenched itself for over 40 years after independence, they did not win because we had an independent electoral commission. The Kivoito Commission certainly was not independent. It won because a majority of Kenyans had decided to support change. I would want to ask those who will work for the Electoral Commission, those who have now found themselves at IEBC, irrespective of who has appointed them, you are Kenyan professionals. Work for Kenya. And know that when you violate the electoral process, you are digging a hole for yourself. I am told in the killing of the Gen Zs, there are some police officers who lost their children. In the later abductions and murders, there are officers who lost their children. As Kenyans, you and me are the ones who will make the electoral process have integrity. Let us not focus only on the commissioners. Let us focus on ourselves.
All right.
Yeah.
And maybe still on that line, do you have any reservations about any of the commissioners?
No, I would not say so. I would say just the whole process. When the process is bad, the product is bad. I have no issue with any one person. After all, I do not even think I know them as individuals. And I want to encourage Kenyans. No dictator has ever succeeded against the people.
All right. Yeah. And just another one. A number of people are raising questions about whether you, together with former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Matiang'i, they're asking questions whether the opposition will stand the test of time. What do you have to say about this?
We will. Why do we stand with doubts? I rather prefer those I meet and those who inbox me or put on Twitter, you better stick together. Don't be doubting Thomas. Be encouragers, because it's for Kenya, it's not for us.
We are in the financial year.
Yeah.
Are there areas of the finance bill of 2025 that you think Kenyans should be aware of and be on the lookout for, especially during this time?
Yeah, there's increased taxation, especially relating to mtandao, increased taxation on goods and services. By the way they have cast the finance bill, when you zero rate, you are not tax exempting, there are repercussions. We will be coming on set to explain more, but the finance bill of 2025, it looks like the taxes are not up, but it's laced with poison. And the end result will be pain in the pockets of Kenyans.
We've seen a number of politicians being arrested, others being tear-gassed. Yesterday we saw Juja MP being abducted. What is your take on how the government is dealing with dissenting voices?
This is a regime gone rogue, with no respect for the law, no respect for the rights of people. Our constitution allows divergent voices. Dissent is to be appreciated. It makes the regime in power stay in the mode of working and respond to the issues being said. We are reminding William Ruto and his regime, we have the Constitution of Kenya, which should be your operational manual. Stop arresting people gangster style. Why do you surround a governor's residence like he's an unlawful group or like it's Al-Shabaab you're looking for? Why can't you summon somebody to go to court? Why do you abduct an MP instead of giving him summons? Treat us with respect. That's what the Constitution demands. You will be held to account for your actions, however long it takes.